As a specialist or elective teacher, specifically physical education, we were taught that our curriculum and lessons would hold the same worth as core classes in college. Unfortunately, our classes are sometimes not weighted heavily in the eyes of our students or our colleagues. And that can be because of the stigma that some PE teachers, like any class, give, a bad name to PE. You might have had a PE teacher that just decided to walk around laps or roll out the balls, and I would like to show that my curriculum is way more than just that. I feel that what we teach helps students just as much as any other lesson. From our book, The Cultures of Curriculum, the concept of curriculum should include in-depth examination of practices, interactions, values, visions, as well as an inward journey of personal reflection. And I really like this quote where it talked about, an inward look at your journey, because I constantly want my students to realize what they're capable of and try harder to push themselves in order to do better, or even try and break a personal record. That's a huge thing that we're learning right now with fitness testing, is we are trying to set realistic goals and then not only set those goals but reach them and hopefully surpass them. I also think it's important that the reflection process, like I said, realistic is important, because a lot of times students will set, I'll do 1,000,000 push-ups in 1 hour, or I'll do 1,000,000 push-ups in 60 seconds. But I think it's important to help them realize, if you set a goal that you can't reach, sometimes that really hurts you more than you think it does. Personally, for me, I think PE is awesome and fun to teach, because there's not only that mental knowledge and learning, but there's the emotional and physical as well. Oftentimes, my official curriculum is just the stepping stones for my students, and they end up learning lessons that I really didn't intend on them, to use or implement into their real life. But an example is I taught a game last year called mat ball, which is a combination of kickball, dodgeball, and baseball. And I taught them the rules, I taught them how to score it, I taught them how to ref it, I taught them, every single step that they needed to, and how to make teams and play. And one day after school, I walked into the after school program, and the students had created their own teams, had set up the scoreboard, and had set up the parameters for the playing field, and they were playing it. So I realized that my curriculum and stuff that I was teaching, these children liked it so much or understood it enough that they implemented it into their own lives in order to play a game after school, and that was really awesome for me. Also, I try and connect my subject to the real world. In the book, it talked about education through occupations, and one example that I try and do in my classroom is called the conflict corner, and it's to try and help students learn that either a conflict or the problem that you have with someone might not be enough to actually take time out of your day to go off of it. So you either decide that, it's not that big of a deal, let it go, or you go use calm, cool, collected words, discuss your problems, figure out a solution, and move on. So this really helps my students think about the emotional and the mental values in the classroom in order to help themselves solve problems, instead of possibly a physical fight or altercation instead. And this will be helpful later on because of the communication values it holds. I also liked realizing that classroom culture is the assembly of individuals with different views, cultures, and backgrounds, because everyone brings something to the table, whether it be the mental, the understanding of the skills or strategies in a game, the physical, being able to perform the drills or actually play the game, and then emotional, especially in elementary school, they love to cheer people on and boost their confidence. And I think it's just so important that we build upon all of those traits and then help students learn how to do the other traits as well.